I got some questions for him. All right.
Mine's a bottom.
Finally going on YouTube. Night to hear, am I over on Deconstruction Junction? If I am, hello everybody. If you can, I'd appreciate it. It always helps me get new followers over on my YouTube. I'd love it if you did. And since we haven't really started yet, it's perfect if you do. Okay, we're gonna be in chapter 17 today, and we get to learn about Aaron's rod.
Ooh, I love Aaron's rod. I've had a few of those.
I bet you have. I don't think I've ever had an Aaron's rod. And my son-in-law's name is Aaron, so now that just sounds creepy, so I have not.
That's so creepy.
That's just fucking creepy. No, but he spells it differently, so Granny. Ursa May, if you want to come up, you know you're always welcome. All right, we're going to start in chapter 17 this morning. If you guys can do me a favor, keep tapping the screen, sharing out the live. Let me change the gift goal. That is my gift goal when I'm doing conversations with Christians. Thank you so much, La Petite Paquette, for the gift. I really appreciate it. And let me make it something that everybody can contribute to. But I want to pick something that I haven't had before. Let me pick something new. Because I like to build my little gallery. Like, collect. I think I've had all of those. I'm just going to go with this one. It's only 15. And we'll just go 20 of those. And then we'll pin that in case you guys don't have it. This is for group 7. By the way, I am a part of group 7. I also have a flash goal right now. I need 7 people who can give me 1 rose each. Oh, wow. Silly Goose. Thank you so much. All right. 7 people give me 1 rose each, and I will hit that little flash goal, and that always helps. Let's go ahead and start in chapter 17. Here we go. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak." Oh, by the way, DC, I have my iPad, but it won't charge, so I can't really look things up, but No, I have the Oxford Companion to the Bible if we need to look something up. I can go get my Jewish Study Bible if we need that too, okay? So we can look things up if we need to.
I'll have my computer next week, so I'll be able to help look up things. But right now, I'm just on my phone with no Bible.
I'm going to just send stuff to the rabbis, too. Maybe one of them will pop in and make sure that they have an invite. I should send it to Justin, too. He's not working anymore. He's free to join us during the day if he wants to.
This is his job now.
Yeah.
Put him to work.
This is job. Exactly. Okay, here we go. I will do my best. I don't have the resources today to do the looking up that I normally do. But we can always put a pin in it, and I can come back next week and tell you what I found out if we need to look stuff up. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to the Israelites and get 12 staffs from them, 1 for each ancestral house, from all the leaders of their ancestral houses. Write each man's name on his staff, and write Aaron's name on the staff of Levi. For there shall be 1 staff for the head of each ancestral house. Place them in the tent of meeting before the covenant, where I meet with you. And the staff of the man whom I choose shall sprout. Thus I will put a stop to the complaints of the Israelites that they continually make against you." Moses spoke to the Israelites, and all the leaders gave him staffs, 1 for each leader, according to their ancestral houses, 12 staffs, and the staff of Aaron was among theirs. So Moses placed the staffs before the Lord in the tent of covenant. When Moses went into the tent of the covenant on the next day, the staff of Aaron for the house of Levi had sprouted. It put forth buds, produced blossoms and bore ripe like fucking overnight. Get the fuck out of here. This is so crazy. Then Moses brought out all the staffs from before the Lord to all the Israelites, and they looked, and each man took his staff, and the Lord said to Moses, put back the staff of Aaron before the covenant to be kept as a warning to the rebels, so that you may make an end of their complaints against me, or else they will die. Moses did so just as the Lord commanded him, so he did. The Israelites said to Moses, we are perishing, we are lost. All of us are lost. Everyone who approaches the tabernacle of the Lord will die. Are we all to perish? Well, first of all, get out of here with that staff story. That's stupid. That didn't happen.
No shit. Like, they're supposed to show this budded staff and be like, look what God did. It's a staff with the bud on it. Like, it's
right.
Like, it's budding.
And it happened.
Yeah, like, what?
It's budding and it already has almonds on it and everything. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And then, I've been thinking about this a lot lately. I wrote that song called Ex Parte about the fact that the women were not invited to Mount Sinai. And therefore, we really can't sin because we never agreed to the covenant that the sin falls under. Like, we've never agreed, right? But the thing is, like, how good could this God be if the Israelites just fucking don't want him? They're like, dude, like, you're always trying to kill us. Like, we're all gonna die. We're just so sick of this guy.
Shit.
And then in Jeremiah 44, the women are like, hey, bitches, when we were in Egypt and we were worshiping Mother God, everything was good. And then you guys went to this Yahweh dude and our lives became shit. I don't know. I just don't. I feel like this is why I say in my one topic that he's my abusive ex, because it's just like an abusive man who can't take no from a woman who just keeps pursuing her and she keeps saying, I don't want you. You're not good. You're literally unaliving me here. So I don't know.
True. I feel like if you want to see if someone's a good parent, you just ask their children. Like,
exactly.
what do you think about your dad? And they're like, he's abusive. He always wants to unalive me. You know what I mean? All these things. Like, it should give you a pretty good hint of what kind of parent they are.
Absolutely. I always say that, I think that that's one of the things corporate does wrong in most every corporation I've ever worked for is they talk to the managers all the time instead of going to the employees and talking to them about the management. They always, get reports from management, this, that, and the other thing, but rarely do they come into the people who work every day with the management and say, what is your manager like? What do they do? And stuff like that. The leader is where you find out where the problems are. I'm not going to even say who they are to me. I have somebody I know who works for a very, very famous store. Okay. And this store is world famous. Okay. They're not known as a store. They're more known for their product, but they have stores where they sell their product. And she works for one of them. And about 2 weeks ago, somebody who works there, who's going on their 10th year, and on their 10th year, they get something very expensive from the company as a thank you, okay? And they are they're in their final months before they will receive that present from the company. And he just turned around and said the N-word right in front of her twice. And she was like, what? And then it was in front of the manager. The dude is still employed. And it's like, what are you talking about? So then she starts telling me all the other problems in the store. And I said, that is so evident that it all goes back to that manager. That manager doesn't know how to hire. He doesn't know how to fire. He's scared to say anything to an employee. I've told this person that if I didn't know them well, I personally, like, if it was just one of you guys who came and told me this same story and I actually knew where you worked, I would have already called the corporation if you hadn't. But this person can't lose their job right now, and they're very scared that they're going to lose their job if they do keep pushing it. Like, they've gone to the manager. They're like, what are you doing about this? Well, we contacted HR. What do you mean you've contacted HR? If this company has a zero tolerance policy, he should be out that door. But your management style shows that you are a horrific person, and that's why your employees are horrific, and that is why the store is not prosperous, right? And that's the same with this God. He's just horrible. And what he does is he begats horrible people who continue to not understand boundaries, to have hatred, to be bigoted. And it looks like these people were sick of it. They wanted out. They were like, we are perishing. We are lost. All of us are lost. Everyone who approaches the tabernacle of the Lord will die. Are we all to perish? They're sick of him. He's not a good manager. He's not a good manager. I'm calling HR on him.
Not good at all.
All right. Why do I have to hear so much about Aaron? I'm sick of Aaron. Can I just say that? Like, we've been hearing about him since Leviticus and his priesthood, and I'm sick of it. Like, I don't really care. I just don't care this much about Aaron. But we're going to go on and learn more about the responsibility of priests and Levites. Here we go. I'm crabby, Freon. Am I crabby? I don't think I'm crabby. I was telling a story. I'm a little passionate sometimes, Freon, but, you know, that's okay. We're allowed to be, especially when we're talking about somebody being a fucking racist. It's okay to be passionate about that. Punch a Nazi,
100%.
everybody. Okay.
Exactly.
The Lord said to Aaron, you and your sons and your ancestral house with you shall bear responsibility for offenses connected with the sanctuary, while you and your sons alone shall bear responsibility for offenses connected with the priesthood. So bring with you also your brothers of the tribe of Levi, your ancestral tribe, in order that they may be joined to you and serve you, while you and your sons with you are in front of the tent of the covenant. They shall perform duties for you and for the whole tent, but they must not approach either the utensils of the sanctuary or the altar. Otherwise, both they and you shall die. They are attached to you in order to perform the duties of the tent of meeting. For all the service of the tent, no outsider shall approach you. You yourselves shall perform the duties of the sanctuary and the duties of the altar, so that wrath may never again come upon the Israelites. It is I who now take your brother Levites from among the Israelites. They are now yours as a gift. What the fuck? I'm sorry. Dedicated to the Lord to perform the service of the tent of meeting. But you and your sons with you shall diligently perform your priestly duties in all the concerns the altar and the area behind the curtain. I give your priesthood as a gift. An outsider who approaches shall be put to death. I don't understand. I mean, like, I do, because I used to do. Oh, you guys, thank you for helping me reach my flash goal. I really appreciate it. I want to thank you guys, but I moved to the wrong thing. Thank you, Tahir, Granazana, La Petite Paquette, Jag, DC, Ashley, and Janice. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So I want to understand this right, and I don't know if you know DC, but the way I'm reading it, it sounds like Aaron and his sons, who are the priests, they do stuff behind a curtain that nobody else is allowed to see. If they do, they will die. Doesn't this sound like the Wizard of Oz or something?
It does sound like the Wizard of Oz. That's pretty much right.
Like,
From
so,
my understanding,
I mean,
yeah.
it's just a way for them to con people, right? It's like, hey, don't go back here though, because you will die. But really, what they're probably doing is like skimming and shit.
Yeah, and like the other thing too is that one of the scholars I was listening to was talking about the 12 tribes. And if we look at the
Mm-hmm.
12 tribes, Aaron and like when we look at Aaron, Moses, the Levite tribe, like they have roots in Egyptian names. And so the other ones are more of a Hebrew name. And so the theory is that these people had like ceremonies and stuff that they learned from Egypt.
Mm.
And that this tribe was actually probably from Egypt where the other tribes weren't. And so maybe that they were bringing over religion, ceremonies from that area. So probably trying to gatekeep it from my understanding.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, I'm gonna write that down so I can ask um Bert or Rabbi Hannah about it. Um, because I know like it's funny because I get it that when I talk to rabbis, a lot of their stuff is apologetics, but it's also their historical traditional beliefs. And that's what I want to understand. It's not that suddenly they tell me and I believe the story. You know what I mean? I just now I understand culturally what they were talking about, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, I mean we're reading their book.
Right.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Okay. Let me highlight that and put a little question there. Oh, you like this? I showed it to other people. Have you ever seen one of these? It's a Bible.
No,
Okay,
I've never.
so when I when I was growing up, I know I'm a lot older than, but it's just such a cool vintage find. I'm so excited about it. Okay, so when I was growing up, during the 70s, they started that whole trend that became very even more popular 80s, 90s, where they were trying to relate to the younger people. Do you see? Because we just need to make Jesus like more relatable, more acceptable, right? So we need to make a Bible that reaches those young hippies. Okay. Wait.
It
So the
sounds like
pictures,
Jesus movement.
it is pretty much, but this is literally this one. Now, the way I think had several ones, but this is from the Catholic Church. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you something funny. I was showing this to Rabbi Hannah yesterday because I just think it's funny. This is in Judges. Do you see what that is? That's a giant slide.
Oh my gosh. Now, are they dressed in like Hebrew clothing?
No, they're just wearing normal 70s clothing. They're in burlap sacks, sliding down a slide at the fair. And this is the cover page for Judges.
That is hilarious. Oh, like, what is it even supposed to mean?
Here's what it says: grab a piece of carpet and flop down, head first if you dare. On the downhill
What?
track, the playground slides of your childhood are dwarfed by the biggies where you pay quarters and rip over the drop offs as long as your stomach can take it. The book of Judges is the story of Joshua's once powerful nation on a spiritual super slide. Oh my God, that's where you
Holy
took it.
shit.
At
Super
least
slides
six
hurt.
trips. At least 6 trips down into sin, followed by invasion and conquest, and a string of courageous judges who would take charge and lead the people back to God in independence. Guerrilla fighter Ehud, a tough woman named Deborah, self-conscious Gideon, maverick Jephthah, and even Playboy Samson were used by God over a 170-year period to bail out the wayward Israelis. The last 5 chapters of the book are samples of the religious rackets and sexual perversions at the time. It's a rather grim record of what happened when everyone did whatever they wanted to whatever seemed right in their own eyes. Okay, that's
Wow.
like, but the pictures in here are hilarious. So there's just a bunch of girls hanging out. This is Luke.
Oh my
A
gosh.
dude playing the guitar on a hill.
Oh, that's rad.
I know, wait. There's it's such a funny book. A sign that says no dumping. But I think Joel would disagree. I think he would want us to dump.
Definitely dump it. Definitely dump it.
Okay, sorry, I had to share that with you because I was moving and I was like, oh, DC will like this one. I'm collecting Bibles now. It's my weird obsession. I also have this little teeny vintage King James. Look at the pictures.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to definitely have to go to Goodwill.
Right. I also check Facebook Marketplace and offer up for religious books. And sometimes people just have like a box and it's got like 3 or 4 really good Bibles and then like a stupid book by, you know, whoever, Joel Osteen or something. But you could get some good Bibles that way. Yeah. Okay. No dumping, right? Isn't that funny? I'm like, what is going on? Oh, hi, Ashra. Good to see you. Okay. We're in chapter 18 in Numbers, verse 8, the priest's portion. Because of course I get, Joyce Meyer. Oh my God, I used to listen to so much Joyce Meyer. You guys, I was so messed up.
I always went to her conventions.
I never got to go to one of her conventions, but I bought like all her books, and listened to her on, CDs and, okay. The Lord spoke to Aaron, I have given you charge of the offerings made to me, all the holy gifts of the Israelites. I have given them to you and your sons as a priestly portion. Do you in perpetuity. This shall be yours from the most holy things reserved from the fire. Every offering of theirs that they render to me God, why can't I read that now? Let's try again, Crystal. Every offering of theirs that they render to me as a most holy thing, whether grain offering, sin offering, or guilt offering, shall belong to you and your sons. As a most holy thing, you shall eat it. Every male may eat it. It shall be holy to you. This also is yours. I have given to you together with your sons and daughters as a perpetual due, whatever is set aside from the gifts of all the elevation offerings of the Israelites. Everyone who is clean in your house may eat them. All of the best of the oil and all of the best of the wine and the grain, the choice produce that they give the Lord, I have given to you. The first fruits of all that is in their land, which they bring to the Lord, shall be yours. Everyone who is clean in your house may eat of it. Every devoted thing in Israel shall be yours. The first issue of the womb of all creatures, human and animal, which is offered to the Lord, shall be yours. But the firstborn of human beings you shall redeem, and the firstborn of unclean animals you shall redeem. The redemption price reckoned from 1 month of age you shall fix at 5 shekels of silver, according to the shekel of the sanctuary, that is a 20 gerahs. But the firstborn of a cow, or the firstborn of a sheep, or the firstborn of a goat, you shall not redeem. They are holy. You shall dash their blood on the altar. And you shall turn their fat into smoke as an offering by fire for a pleasing odor to the Lord. But their flesh shall be yours, just as the breast that is elevated and is the right thigh are yours. All the holy offerings that the Israelites present to the Lord I have given to you, together with your sons and daughters as a perpetual due. It is a covenant of salt forever before the Lord, for you and your descendants as well. Then the Lord said to Aaron, you shall have no allotment in their land, nor shall you have any share among them. I am your share and your possession among the Israelites. So Aaron and his sons get some of the best foods offered. Like, they get the best foods offered is basically what it is. They're eating fine. They are eating good, okay? They don't get land, though. But I don't think they need it because they just go wherever the tabernacle is. So, in a way, they're always going to make sure there's room for the tabernacle. They do get land. You know, like, if you think about it, it's like...
Exactly.
You know?
And the other
You
thing
might
too
not
is
have the
like
deed.
when it like remember when I was saying that the Levites like their names are rooted in like Egyptian like grammar,
Yeah.
so or tradition. So like the thought is that the other tribes were there originally and the Levites came later, which means that the land was already claimed for, from my understanding anyways. And so they
Oh.
wouldn't have had land. And
Yeah,
like
that makes
that's a
sense.
lot of the contention that's a lot of the contention in the Old Testament is like who gets what land? What land is which tribes? And
Yeah.
throughout the Old Testament, the land does change. Like the people's land changes, the tribe's land changes. So it's always like we're best, so we get more land, or you're best, so you get, or you're worse, so you get least land. So that's kind of how it is.
Yeah.
Also, did that say a covenant of salt?
Yeah. What does that mean?
So salt is like we may not think of it now, but like Gandhi, right? When Gandhi was doing his peaceful protest, the whole reason
Mm-hmm.
why he was protesting was because the British government was controlling their salt. So salt was like a huge thing for people before refrigerators because that's how they
Oh.
kept their produce
Yeah.
fresh and things like that. And so salt was a big deal. So it seems to me like they're doing some of these sacrifices for salt, for like literal salt, maybe.
Hmm. Okay, wait, I gotta find it again so I can remember where I'm gonna highlight. Okay, there it is. It is just if you wanted to write it down to look at later. It's in verse 19. It says, "All the holy offerings that the Israelites present to the Lord, I have given to you together with your sons and daughters as a perpetual due. It is a covenant of salt forever before the Lord for you and your descendants as well." I want to highlight that.
Yeah, that's super interesting. I mean, it could be used as like a. That'd be nice to have a rabbi here because I guess that could be used as like a symbolism, or it could be used as like literally this is what all the offerings are is for salt, which would be
Yeah.
really wild.
Hey Tony, how are you? Yeah, funny God. It's funny how the prophecies don't ever talk about all the things that would happen in the future, like refrigerators. It is kind of funny how they didn't do it.
Yeah. Give them a
Okay.
fridge. Like,
Yeah.
damn, man.
Yes, salt is a preservative. So yeah, I think that obviously it's a covenant of salt means something there. Like they're not going to make the point to say that and not have it be something. But I do not have. Let me see if it charged yet because it's not taking my. Oh, it did charge a little bit. Yay! Let's see if I can get it to tell me what a covenant salt means there.
Maybe it's like
Numbers 18.
preserving the family. I'm not sure.
What is
Or preserving the
covenant salt?
tribes.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, I'm using ChatGPT. Okay, get over it. By the way, he and I have talked, and his name is Esau. So how do you like that? Okay.
Oh no.
Yeah, because we decided Esau deserved redemption. We realized that probably nobody ever names their child Esau because God hated him, and we wanted his name to live on a little bit longer because Esau didn't do anything wrong. Okay, so anyway, that's why his name is Esau. So in Numbers 18:19, the phrase covenant of salt appears in the context of God's instruction to Aaron and his descendants. Symbol of permanence and preservation. In the ancient Near East, salt symbolized permanence, loyalty, and preservation. Because salt doesn't spoil or decay, it became a metaphor for something lasting or incorruptible. Thus, calling this a covenant of salt means that this meant to be an enduring covenant or perpetual priesthood and provision of Aaron's line. It is also a symbol of fellowship and faithfulness. Salt was also traditionally a sign of friendship and alliance. Sharing salt or eating salted food together represented loyalty and trust in a relationship. That's why I always share my chips with my friends. It's what I do, okay? Sharing salt or eating salted food together represents loyalty and trust in a relationship. In this covenant, it reinforces the idea that God's relationship with the priesthood is based on mutual faithfulness. God provides for them, and they serve faithfully in return. And there's a connection to sacrifice because elsewhere in Scripture, all offerings made to God were to include salt. You shall not omit from your grain offerings the salt of the covenant with your God. With all your offerings, you shall offer salt. Leviticus 2:13. Okay, so it's bringing it back around there. This shows that salt was a required part of sacred worship, symbolizing the enduring nature of the covenant between God and Israel. It just means it's everlasting, it's pure, and good morning, Joel. Yeah. So okay, that makes and that makes sense because, as you know, salt is a preservative. You know, so it preserves. Oops, sorry, I'm knocking myself around here.
Yes, that does make sense.
Okay. To the Levites I have given every tithe in Israel for possession in return for the service that they perform. They serve the service in the tent of meeting. So this, to me, just saying, is a man with his brother made up this fucking God. He told his brother, you get to be the priest. I'll let you get all the offerings and shit. Okay? Like, that's just what this sounds like. Are you kidding me? Okay, I'm sorry. I'll continue.
No, it's like they didn't have to like do any of the work. I mean, they didn't have any land for the animals either. So I mean, that's one thing. But they literally just did these rituals, and that's all they had to do.
And then ate the food, and then kept the offerings.
And
they
just
were
chilled.
Butchers, and they were literally butchers, and then they got everything for being the town butcher. Is what they were, you know.
Right? And like, where do they stay? On mountains? That's my question. Is like, where were they at? Just on mountains? I have no idea.
To the Levites I have given every tithe in Israel for possession in return for the service that they perform, the service in the tent of meeting. From now on, the Israelites shall no longer approach the tent of meeting, or else they will incur guilt and die. But the Levites shall perform the service of the tent of meeting, and they shall bear responsibility for their own offenses. It shall be a perpetual statute throughout your generations, but among the Israelites they shall have no allotment, because I have given to the Levites as their portion the tithe of the Israelites, which they set apart as an offering to the Lord. Therefore I have said to them that they shall have no allotment among the Israelites. Why do they need one? They have everything else. Oops, what did I drop? Oh, my iPad. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
They don't need room to like raise animals. They get all the animals.
Yeah. They don't need an allotment. Okay, then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, you shall speak to the Levites, saying, when you receive from the Israelites the tithe that I have given you, from them your portion, you shall set apart an offering from it to the Lord, a tithe of the tithe. It shall be reckoned to you as your gift, the same as the grain of the threshing floor and the fullness of the winepress. Thus you also shall set apart an offering to the Lord from all the tithes that you receive from the Israelites, and from them you shall give the Lord's offering to the priest Aaron. Out of all the gifts to you, you shall set apart every offering to the Lord. The best of all of them is the part to be consecrated. Say also to them, when you have set apart the best of it, then the rest shall be reckoned to the Levites as produce of the threshing floor and as produce of the winepress. You may eat it in any place, you and your households, for it is your payment for your service to the tent of meeting. You shall incur no guilt by reason of it when you have offered the best of it, but you shall not profane the holy gifts of the Israelites on pain of death. So, a portion of the tithes. Wait. Okay. Levi saying, when you receive from the Israelites the tithe that I have given you, from them for your portion, you shall set apart an offering from it to the Lord, a tithe of the tithe. But then doesn't he just take that tithe too and keep it? I'm a little confused.
So I guess what it's saying is like the tithe that, or so the offerings that the priests receive or the Levites receive, they have to also make a tithe of that to God. So like, I guess a tenth of that they are not able to keep.
But what do they do with it? Because there's like
I
God
guess
isn't
just burn it.
standing there. Let's see. Explain verses 25 through 32. 'Cause I don't get this one. It just sounds stupid. Like, oh Christ, you haven't even read this book, so quit playing pumpkin. At least I look things up. At least I study. At least I inform myself. You just sit there spewing stupid shit in a chat and do nothing to educate yourself. Okay. God tells Moses to instruct the Levites when they receive tithes from the Israelites, they themselves must give a tithe of that tithe back to the Lord. Okay, that's true, but like, where does it go is what I want to know. The system ensures that everyone contributes, including those who live off offerings. Well, yes, they should. This tithe from the Levites is considered a genuine offering, as sacred as the grain or wine given. It puts the Levites, okay, on equal spiritual footing with the rest of Israel. The Levites must give the best portions. But what do they do with them? After giving the best portion, the Levites are free to eat the rest of the tithe anywhere. Who gets it though? Because there's not a God that's going to come down and eat it. It's not like Santa can't come and actually eat the cookies, you know?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
There's not really a Santa who eats the cookies. It's given to Aaron in 28. That's what I thought. So he takes it and gives it to the Lord, and then like they give it back? Like they get it back? I'm just confused.
I need a Bible.
Yeah, I know. Everyone gives something back to God. Even those who live from offerings must give a portion. Giving is actively there. Okay. But since there is no God, who actually took that tithe? What did they do with it? Where did it go? I love it when ChatGPT always has to start with a compliment for you. That's a really sharp question. Thank you, ChatGPT. I thought you did.
Yeah. Thanks for recognizing my geniusness.
Thank you. When the text says the tithe or offering was given to the Lord, it didn't vanish into thin air. In practice, the priests physically received the offering. So it did. They took the tithe, gave it to the Lord, and then they get it back again. I'm not even going to read the rest of that because that's what I want to know. That's what it seems to say. How stupid.
Wow. How does that a tithe of a tithe then? How does that make them equal with the rest?
How does Jesus' sacrifice actually equal a sacrifice? They don't.
That's true. It doesn't.
When the text says tithe or offering was given to the Lord, did it vanish into thin air? In practice, the priests physically received the offering that were said to belong to the God. Grain, oil, and wine offerings were stored and used by the priestly families. Meat offerings were... Let's see. After the sacrificial ritual were divided, a symbolic portion was burnt on the altar for God, and the rest were eaten by the Levites. These offerings were the priest's source of food and livelihood, so giving to God was a religious justification for supporting a specific class, the priesthood. The system reinforced temple authority. In real-world tunes, food offerings fed priests, Levites, and families. Animal sacrifices, the fat and certain organs were burned, but much of the meat was eaten by priests and sometimes the worshipers themselves. Wine and oil were used in the temple. Okay, wait. I don't want a 20-page synopsis. I want you to specifically tell me when Aaron tithed back what he was given, his 10% portion, what exactly happened to that 10%? Did he get it back again? Did the priests get the 10% they tithed? Did they get it back again? When the Levites gave their tithe of tithes to Aaron, that portion stayed with the priest. The people gave 10%. The Levites then took 10% of that and gave it to the priest, Aaron. So it was just circular. That's all it is. It's just like going in a circle.
What
Hey,
happens when
Quan,
Aaron
if you want to
passes
come up, you can.
away?
It goes to his sons and shit, right?
I mean, yeah, and they are the priest, right? So like,
Yeah.
it's just weird. I'd have to read more of it. I'm
Yeah.
writing it down. Ties
I'm,
of ties. I haven't done a deep dive on that.
yeah. Yeah, I agree. Like, that's why I like to, people ask, like, why are you doing this? I want to learn stuff like this. I think that these little things are important, you know? I think they truly show us who these people were, what they were doing, and what their purpose was. And I don't think it's as black and white as most people. Yeah, it does sound like a Ponzi. It totally sounds like a Ponzi scheme. I do think that.
Like, it's definitely
Okay.
definitely a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, there's the tie, the ties. That, by the way, in case you guys want to know where that is in verse 26 of chapter 18 in Numbers. Tithe of tithe. Okay. Okay. Chapter 19. Ceremony of the red heifer.
Before we get on this, you do know that Mike Johnson and other GOP senators sent a red heifer earlier this year to Israel?
No, I didn't know that.
Yes. That was the whole reason why they went to Israel, is to send a red heifer.
Fucking idiots.
Yeah.
They're such fucking
From
weirdos.
Texas. From Texas. A red heifer from Texas.
All right. The Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, "This is a statute of the law that the Lord has commanded. Tell the Israelites to bring you a red heifer." Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know why my notifications are on. I don't like notifications. I turn them off usually. Okay. The Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, "This is a statute of the law that the Lord has commanded. Tell the Israelites to bring you a red heifer without defect, in which there is no blemish, and on which no yoke has been laid. You shall give it to the priest Eleazar, and it shall be taken outside the camp and slaughtered in his presence. The priest Eleazar shall take some of its blood with his finger and sprinkle it 7 times towards the front of the tent of meeting. Then the heifer shall be burned in his sight. Its skin, its flesh, its blood, with its dung shall be burned." Oh, God, that had a stink. "Hyssop and crimson material, and throw them into the fire in which the heifer is burning. Then the priest shall wash his clothes and bathe his body in water, and afterwards he may come into the camp, but the priest shall remain unclean until evening. The one who burns the heifer shall wash his clothes in water and bathe his body in water. He shall remain unclean until evening. Then someone who is clean shall gather up the ashes of the heifer and deposit them outside the camp in a clean space, and they shall be kept for the congregation of the Israelites for the water for cleansing. It is the purification offering. The one who gathers the ashes of the heifer shall wash his clothes and be unclean until evening." So, do you know why he wanted a red heifer? Like, is there significance for that?
Do not know that at all. But I mean, I find it funny that they have to bathe, but it makes sure to say in water. Like, no stink baths.
Yeah, we're not talking about that. This mixture was used pure. The ashes were then collected and mixed with water to create water for cleansing. What? I didn't get that. I didn't realize that's what it said. They take the ashes.
Greta said maybe they meant red herring instead of red heifer.
Okay. In chapter 19, why did they want a red heifer? What was the significance? I'm not understanding. And I don't see the part where they mix the ashes with the water. Where is that? Okay. I know what the text says. I didn't ask you that. It's about death and purity. Anyone who touched a corpse or entered a tent where someone died was considered ritually unclean. This wasn't moral guilt, it was a state of ritual impurity. That barred you from temple worship. The red heifer's ashes provide a way to reverse that. Red equals life, countering death. The color red symbolized life and vitality because of blood. Using a red animal that had never worked symbolically contrasted with death's corruption, a kind of ritual reversal of decay. Death was considered contaminating, so the entire process happens away from the sacred space. It removes impurity from the community center. The ashes acted like a ritual detergent, mixed with water and sprinkled to symbolically wash away the contamination of death. It reinforced the priesthood's authority over purity. Only they could prepare and apply the mixture, so all purity, and by extension, all access to God, went through them. Oh, a nice way to control people, I see. The red heifer rite was an ancient purity law, a way to deal with the anxiety around death and keep social boundaries between clean and unclean. It was about sin, or it wasn't about sin or forgiveness. It was about reintegrating people who had been excluded after coming in contact with death. Okay. Oh, all right.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
why did
like there's
Israel
like
need one?
impurity laws. Yeah, there's like impurity laws and then there's like moral laws. Like I do know that if you were impure, you couldn't go to the temple, but it didn't mean that you were sinful. It just meant that you had contact with something that was unclean or this or that. Right? So, a
Yeah.
red snapper.
Red herring, red snapper. So I wanna highlight this so I remember to ask about this too, because I like hearing more. Sometimes, especially with like Bert will sometimes like show me even like ritual stuff, like like that they still use or whatever that has to do with these stories. So I like asking him things like this. Why can't I find the word? Oh, there it is. Red heifer. I just want to highlight you. Okay. This shall be a perpetual statute for the Israelites and for the alien residing among them. Those who touch the dead body of any human being shall be unclean 7 days. They shall purify themselves with the water on the 3rd day and on the 7th day, and so be clean. But if they do not purify themselves on the 3rd day and on the 7th day, they will not become clean. All who touch a corpse, the body of a human being who has died, and do not purify themselves, defile the tabernacle of the Lord. Such persons shall be cut off from Israel, since water for cleansing was not dashed on them. They remain unclean. Their uncleanliness is still on them. Obviously, I think that a lot of times when they were doing laws like this, what they were doing was they were trying to be more sanitary or what have you, but instead what they did was other people. Instead of having good hygienic practices, they were just like othering people. You're unclean. I just need to wash my fucking hands, okay? Meanwhile, these same people who are telling people who are clean and unclean sleep with shit in their camp, like right next to where they're sleeping and stuff.
To eat off of it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like for me, it's like they didn't have like health codes, right? Like they didn't have government to tell them like, hey, this is not going to be good. And so like we even see it with them cleaning out the mold. I think that's in Leviticus, right? Where they're like,
yes,
get the doves or whatever. And so I feel like this is like a proto health code.
Yeah,
so like it's their
exactly.
best way of being like, this is going to keep us safe as much as we know how.
Exactly. This is the law when someone dies in a tent. Everyone who comes into the tent and everyone who is in the tent shall be unclean 7 days. And every open vessel with no cover fastened on it is unclean. Whoever in the open field touches one who has been killed by a sword, who has died naturally, or a human bone or a grave, shall be unclean 7 days. For the unclean, they shall take some ashes of the burnt purification offering. Running water shall be added in a vessel. Oh, that's where it was. Oh. Did you guys hear me? Were you able
I
to
was
hear me
hearing you,
just
but I'm
now?
watching a. Yes.
Okay, because I had that puzzle thing come up on TikTok and I didn't know it. And I looked up and I was like, oh. Okay, I'll continue then. All right. Let's see. Let me go back one verse. And every open vessel with no cover fastened on it is unclean. Whoever in the open field touches one who has been killed by a sword, or who has died naturally, or a human bone, or a grave, shall be unclean 7 days. For the unclean, they shall take some ashes of the burnt offering, the burnt purification offering, and running water shall be added in a vessel. So this is the part that the Chat GPT was telling us about. Then a clean person shall take hyssop, dip it in the water, and sprinkle it on the tent, on all the furnishings, on the persons who were there, and on whoever touches the bone, the slain, the corpse or grave. The clean person shall sprinkle the unclean ones on the 3rd day and on the 7th day, thus purifying them on the 7th day. Then they shall wash their clothes and bathe themselves in water, and at evening they shall be clean. Any who are unclean but do not purify themselves, those persons shall be cut off from the assembly, for they have defiled the sanctuary of the Lord. Since the water for cleansing has not been dashed on them, they are unclean. So if you're telling me, hey, born again, if you want to come up, please, I would love it if you do. We're just doing Bible study. So if you're saying that they took a red heifer to Israel, is it because they know that Israel is so unclean because so much death is on their hands?
I
Is that
wish.
the message? I think
And
that's
it
the
happened
message I'm
after.
getting.
And it happened after Gaza. But really, what it
See?
is this is dispensationalism. They want a new Jewish temple. They
I know
want a
they do.
third Jewish temple. So, in order for them to enter the Jewish temple, they're going to have these ashes. And I don't know if they're going to have the red heifer ashes to build the temple or not. But this is a clear, like 9 months ago, I'm just watching a CBN broadcast about it right now. And it actually brings up this verse. So this is what people in like Hamas was, or the age group, I'm sorry, the age group is even saying like, this is an attack on the Muslim mosque that's in Jerusalem, right? Because they're afraid that what this means is America and Israel are wanting to tear down their mosque to rebuild the third Jewish temple.
Yep. Yeah, if you haven't listened to my song, No Kings, No Gods, it's pinned, you should go listen to it. Okay? It shall be a perpetual statute for them. The one who sprinkles the water for cleansing shall wash his clothes, and whoever touches the water for cleansing shall be unclean until evening. Whatever the unclean person touches shall be unclean, and anyone who touches it shall be unclean until evening. Now, here's the thing. I don't know why in all the lives that I've been in, no atheist has ever brought this up as a like complete contradiction or anachronism to what we know would actually clean somebody. Taking ashes from a dead animal, mixing it with water, and washing yourself with it would actually contaminate you, not cleanse you. I don't even know why we don't talk about that. Like, that's just so ridiculous. We now know that would not work to cleanse you. Oh my God. So
That's definitely not a good soap.
No, that's not a good song. No, it's just not. Okay, the waters of Meribah. We're gonna read, looks like I'm gonna read through to 21, and then we're gonna stop there for the day. I'm gonna go eat some lunch, and I'll probably join some other lives. I will be live tomorrow. I came up with a couple of good topics, I think. Let me see what you guys think before we move on. You guys tell me what you think of these. I got this one. What do you think about that one?
I didn't see it.
I don't know why it went away. Why won't it show up now? Okay, let's try again. There we go. Can you see it now? Can you guys hear me? Did I mute myself? Okay. Do you guys see it? Is that a good one for tomorrow? I don't know what happened to DC. Maybe he doesn't know he's muted.
Sorry. No. I was doing laundry and like I had different
Oh, okay.
clothes and I put clothes with sheets and apparently it messed it up. So
Oh.
beddings have to go
Okay.
in alone, I guess.
What do you think of that one? Do you like that one, DC?
Ooh, I love it. I do love it. I'm
Okay,
sorry, I was
here-
reading it. Yes.
Okay, here's another one. Oh, not that one. Oh.
Ooh, I like this one too.
So that's
I would love to
I'm gonna
listen
run
in on
those
this
two
one.
tomorrow. I'm gonna run those two tomorrow, and you can join me if you're around. So please feel free
Okay.
to join.
Or they wouldn't do the first one because he's not going to use the thing he loves for punishment. But I mean, we could always like run that back and be like, you know, if he's a good God, he wouldn't do evil, right? So like, if he doesn't love it, then he shouldn't be doing it either. And Crystal got raptured. No, I'm joking.
Oh. Oh, sorry. Okay, you don't have to love it. It's like you could be neutral to punishment, right? Like I don't love torture, so I don't torture my children. I hate torture. That's why I don't torture them for punishment. But I give them time out, and I don't love time out. I'm just neutral to it. It's a tool I could use. So that's a false dichotomy. God doesn't have to love the punishment to use it, but he certainly shouldn't use things he hates as punishment.
And it's also
Does that
like
make sense?
positive reinforcement versus negative reinforcement.
True. How
Yeah.
about using some things as just a learning, just a moment to teach somebody? Like, if you have children and your kids will do things wrong, sometimes when they do things wrong, it's cute or funny because you understand their train of thought, what they were trying to do or whatever. Just because you don't have to immediately punish them. You could just talk to them and say, "Oh, I understand what you were doing there, but sweetheart, this is what we do, and this is why." Okay. Like for instance, one time I had my son watching my daughters while they took a bath really quick while I went and started dinner. He was only a little bit older than them, and he was just sitting in there making sure nothing happened, and I ran and had to do something with the dinner and then ran back down the hallway, and he is standing in the bathtub, fully clothed. And I'm like, what is going on? Why are you standing in the tub? He said, Demira grabbed your, razor and I needed to grab it from her or whatever. And I was like, okay, you could have opened the door. You could have opened this door and grab it. But he did it wrong, but I understood his train of thought, right? So I'm not going to punish him for getting in the tub with all his clothes on. But God would be like, you did that wrong. You're dead now. He just there's no learning from him. There's no there's no learning curve allowed with him. And I just
He's like,
don't
you
find
did
that
it wrong.
loving.
Curseth be you and all of your children for 1,000 generations.
I know. How dare you get in the bathtub with your clothes on, young man? Okay, I'm sorry. All right, let's go to the waters of Meribah. I don't know if I said that right, but I'm going to say it that way the whole time. The Israelites, the whole congregation, came into the wilderness of Zin in the first month, and the people stayed in Kadesh. Miriam died there and was buried there. Wow. She got a whole sentence about her death. That's nice. Now there was no water for the congregation, so they gathered together against Moses and against Aaron. The people quarreled with Moses and said, would that we had died when our kindred died before the Lord. Why have you brought the assembly of the Lord into this wilderness for us and our livestock to die here? Why have you brought us up out of Egypt to bring us to this wretched place? It is no place for grain or figs or vines or pomegranates, and there's no water to drink. Then Moses and Aaron went away from the assembly to the entrance of the tent of meeting. They fell on their faces, and the glory of the Lord appeared to them. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, take the staff and assemble the congregation, you and your brother Aaron, and command the rock before their eyes to yield its water. Thus you shall bring water out of the rock for them. Thus you shall provide drink for the congregation and their livestock. So Moses took the staff from the Lord as he had commanded him. Moses and Aaron gathered the assembly together before the rock, and he said to them, listen, you rebels, shall we bring water for you out of this rock? Then Moses lifted up his hand and struck the rock twice with his staff. Water came out abundantly, and the congregation and their livestock drank. But the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, because you did not trust me to show my holiness before the eyes of Israelites, therefore you shall not bring this assembly into the land that I had given them. These are the waters of Meribah, where the people of Israel quarreled with the Lord, and by which he showed his holiness. No. This is where God showed that he is a fucking dick. Okay? That's what really happened here.
And that's what they call holy.
Yeah, exactly. What this religion does is it tells people that you are not allowed to ever have a negative emotion. No matter how hungry or thirsty you are, no matter what type of suffering you've been through, you are never allowed to have a negative emotion. And because of that, if you will notice, day in and day out, we meet Christians who cannot handle their emotions. They don't know how. They haven't been taught. Because if you ever feel sad, depressed, or angry, you're just a fucking sinner who has no fucking trust in this God. Hey, dude, people were literally dehydrated. They were starving, they were thirsty, and they had every right to complain and be upset.
Exactly.
Oh, really? Okay. Tahir corrected me. Tahir is saying that.
Well, yeah, either one.
Jag W.
I don't think you're supposed to be up here. I don't think you meant to be up here, Jagger. Tahir is correcting me. Apparently, you can use ash to clean yourself. I don't want to. I don't want to. History Hound.
I'm gonna say no on that, Ghost Rider.
They've been trying for years to make you a thing. I just don't think it's gonna happen because you have no talent.
What are you talking about? Who's been trying for years?
The dude that has a goat. The dude that has a goat as his PFP is telling you have no talent. Like, I've never heard of that guy. Have you guys?
No, like literally, his name is History Hound, and he said they've been trying to make me a thing for years. Who? Do I have people out there trying to make me a thing? That's so fucking cool. Oh my God,
Who's our
you
allies?
guys. That's so exciting. I didn't know you guys were out there trying to make me a thing. God damn it, I love you guys. I love you.
Yay. Teamwork. I don't know if it's okay. So it's not a goat. It's either a bear or a dog. I don't know. It's not like I'm interested enough to find out. Can I block him?
I don't care. I don't care. I don't
Okay.
know who he is. Never heard of him before. But I thought it was kind of funny that he thought that people were trying to make me a thing for years. For years. Like, this has been, you guys have a secret society about me or something? That's cool. You don't have to hide. Come out. Just make me a thing. Okay?
And that was a really terrible solo impression, by the way. Solo was a lot better. Solo being hard.
Yeah, true. Solo fucking kicks ass. Hey, Scrollborn, how are you? It's the Secret Crystal Fan Club. I love it. I love it. Okay, I forgot where we are, you guys. So Israel quarreled with God. Okay, so we're 14. Could you imagine being a parent and your child comes to you and tells you they're thirsty? So you go, okay, here's some water. And you know what? Since you asked for that fucking water and I gave you that fucking water, you don't get anything I ever promised you again because you didn't trust me when you were thirsty. You little brat.
Shit got thirsty.
You piece of shit. Okay. Moses sent messengers from Kadesh to the king of Edom. Thus says your brother Israel, you know all the adversity that has befallen us, how our ancestors went down to Egypt, and we lived in Egypt a long time, and the Egyptians oppressed us and our ancestors. And when we cried to the Lord, he heard our voice and sent an angel and brought us out of Egypt. And here we are in Kadesh, a town on the edge of your territory. Now let us pass through your land. We will not pass through field or vineyard or drink water from any well. We will go along the king's highway, not turning aside to the right hand or to the left until we have passed through your territory. But Edom said to him, you shall not pass through, or we will come out with a sword against you. The Israelites said to him, we will stay on the highway, and if we drink of your water, we and our livestock, then we will pay for it. It's only a small matter, just let us pass through on foot. But he said, you shall not pass through. And Edom came out against them with a large force, heavily armed. Thus Edom refused to give Israel passage through their territory, so Israel turned away from them. I guess Israel doesn't, like, they would be, like, mad at America because we would be like, no, you're not passing through.
Yeah, like what? What a mighty God we serve. Okay, we're going to turn around, everybody.
About face, forward march.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay. They set out from Kadesh, and the Israelites, the whole congregation, came to Mount Hor. Then the Lord said to Moses and Aaron at Mount Hor, on the border of the land of Edom, let Aaron be gathered to his people, for he shall not enter the land that I have given to the Israelites, because you rebelled against my command at the waters of Meribah. Take Aaron and his son Eleazar, and bring them up Mount Hor. Strip Aaron of his vestments, and put them on his son Eleazar. But Aaron shall be gathered to his people, and shall die there. Moses did as the Lord had commanded. They went up Mount Hor in the sight of the whole congregation. Moses stripped Aaron of his vestments and put them on his son Eleazar, and Aaron died there on the top of the mountain. Moses and Eleazar came down from the mountain. When all the congregation saw that Aaron had died, all the house of Israel mourned for Aaron 30 days. So what you're saying is that Moses and Eleazar killed Aaron and then said God did it. And stole all his shit.
Shit.
That's what I see. That sounds exactly like what really happened. They went up there. They jumped him.
I just wanted to say that I would live on Mount Hor. Mount Hor sounds like the place that I would live at.
Yes. They were like, hey, Aaron, come here. We just want to talk to you. We just want to. No, come on, bud. We just want to talk to you. It's okay. Come on. It's just a little talk. And then they came down with all his shit and he was gone. Okay, so actually though, wouldn't you say though that if God prophesies this and then it happened that God caused Aaron to die right there, it wasn't like natural, like God literally caused him to die right there, right? This is another
And
God killing.
and it's super funny because like God's like, all right, everybody, you're gonna give your tithes to Aaron, but now I'm gonna yak him. He's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. Just forget everything I just said.
Had one chapter, right?
Yeah, one chapter. What a forgiving God. What a God of grace and mercy. He's such a good God. All right, chapter 21. And this is where we're going to end for the day. It's not very long. We'll end here, and then I will see you guys next Wednesday for Bible study. But I'll see you tomorrow, though, for more conversation. Before we leave today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check down my YouTube because I can't do this and have my YouTube up on my computer because I don't have a good computer yet. We're working on that, okay? And then I'll play a few songs when we end, and yeah, we'll have a little moment of worship, okay? You can come down to my altar and I will help deconstruct you, and you can say the non-sinner's prayer with me. Okay, when the Canaanite, the king of Arad, who lived in the Negev, heard that Israel was coming by the way of Atheism, he fought against Israel and took some of them captive. Then Israel made a vow to the Lord and said, if you will indeed give this people unto our hands, then we will utterly destroy their towns. The Lord listened to the voice of Israel and handed over the Canaanites, and they utterly destroyed them and their towns. So the place was called Hormah. Okay. So that one is definitely, I have that one tabbed. If any of you want to put tabs in your Bible, that one is tabbed. Verse 2, chapter 21, verse 2 through and 3, G side. Okay, that's a good spot to add G side for your God. Okay, from Mount Hor, they set out by the way to the Red Sea. And then I have a little note that says, or Sea of Reeds, because this should have been the Sea of Reeds, okay? To go around the land of Edom. But the people became impatient on the way. The people spoke against God and against Moses. Why have you brought us up out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? For there is no food and no water, and we detest this miserable food. But I thought there was no food, and then they detest it. I'm sorry. Then the Lord sent poisonous serpents among the people, and they bit the people so that many Israelites died. The people came to Moses and said, we have sinned by speaking against the Lord and against you. Wait. Oh, yeah. I got to show you something here. We have sinned by speaking against the Lord and against you. Pray to the Lord to take away the serpents from us. So Moses prayed for the people, and the Lord said to Moses, make a poisonous serpent and set it on the pole, and everyone who is bitten shall look at it and live. So Moses made a serpent of bronze and put it up on a pole, and whenever a serpent bit someone, that person would look at the serpent of bronze and live. Yeah, because that's so stupid. Verses like this give pastors so much authority over their congregation because they point to verses like this and say, you see how the people question the prophet of God and how he punished them? You don't have any right to question me because I'm your prophet of God now. And they use those verses to control their congregations.
About that as well is like if you look at the Hellenistic symbolisms, like I think it's Hermes, but like that's his symbol. And like even if you look at like the medical symbol that we have today, even it's a snake on a staff. And so like
it is.
yeah, this is actually what it's representing. So it's like the the health and things like that, the well-being. That's the serpent on a stick. And it was that way before the story was written.
The Israelites set out and camped in Oboth. They set out from Oboth and camped at Abiram in the wilderness bordering Moab toward the sunrise. From there they set out and camped in Wadi Zered. From there they set out and camped on the other side of the Arnon in the wilderness that extends from the boundary of the Amorites. For the Arnon is the boundary of Moab, between Moab and the Amorites. Wherefore, sorry, did I cut out for a second?
Your audio
I'm gonna
did,
read
but you're good.
Okay, I'll read that last verse. From there they set out and camped on the other side of the Arnon in the wilderness that extends from the boundary of the Amorites. For the Arnon is the boundary of Moab, between Moab and the Amorites. Wherefore it is said in the book of the wars of the Lord, Wahab in Suphah and the Wadis, the Arnon and the slopes of the Wadis that extend to the seat of Ar and lie along the border of Moab. From there they continue to Ber. That is the well of which the Lord said to Moses, gather the people together and I will give them water. Then Israel sang this song, spring up, O well, sing to it. The well that the leaders sank, that the nobles of the people dug with the scepter, with the staff. Okay, I'm going to test something because I don't know what's coming next. I just want to test something right now. So there's these trope things that happen in the Bible that Bert has taught me about. And one is that whenever they mention a well, like after that, there's somebody gets married or something. So let's see if when we finish up this chapter, somebody gets married, okay? From the wilderness to Manhattan, from Manhattan to Nathaniel, from Nathaniel to Bamuth, and from Bamuth to the valley lying in the region of Moab by the top of Pisgah that overlooks the wasteland. Then Israel sent messengers to King Sihon of the Amorites, saying, let me pass through your land. We will not turn aside into field or vineyard. We will not drink the water of any well. We will go by the king's highway until we have passed through your territory. But Sihon would not allow Israel to pass through his territory. Sihon had gathered all his people together and went out against Israel to the wilderness. He came to Jahaz and fought against Israel. Israel put him to the sword and took possession of his land from the Arnon to the Jabbok, as far as the Ammonites, for the boundary of the Ammonites was strong. Israel took all these towns, and Israel settled in all the towns of the Amorites, in Heshbon, and in all the villages. For Heshbon was a city of King Sihon of the Amorites, who had fought against the former king of Moab and captured all his land as far as the Arnon. Therefore the ballad singers sing, come to Heshbon, let it be built. Let the city of Sion be established. The fire came out from Heshbon, flame from the city of Sihon. It devoured Ar of Moab and swallowed up the heights of the Arnon. Woe to you, O Moab! You are undone, O people of Chemosh. He has made his sons fugitives, his daughters captives to an Amorite king, Sihon. So their prosperity perished from Heshbon to Dibon, and we laid waste until fire spread to Medaba. And then that has a no. Its meaning is uncertain. Okay. Thus Israel settled in the land of the Amorites. Moses sent to spy out Jazer, and they captured its village and dispossessed the Amorites who were there. So people won't let the Israelites come through their territory. And everybody, when I was growing up as a Christian, you're taught, like, look at how mean these people are. They won't just let them walk through. But every time they do take over the entire territory. You think they haven't heard this? You think news hasn't traveled to them and they haven't been like, hey, the fucking Israelites are coming and they're going to tell you that they want to pass through your land. And these people are like, no, because every time they do it, they conquer everybody. They say they're not going to drink the water, but they don't. They just take over everybody. So that's why people aren't letting them. That's why people are saying no. They're like, hey, how are you? So yeah. Then they turned and went up the road to Bashan, and King Og of Bashan came out against them. He and all his people did battle at Edrei. But the Lord said to Moses, do not be afraid of him, for I have given him into your hand with all his people and all his land. You shall do to him as you did to King Sihon and the Amorites who ruled in Heshbon. So they killed him, his sons, and all his people until there was no survivor left, and they took the possessions of the land. So there was no
They
wedding.
did to
That was
them
the
like
first
they did to
time.
Aaron.
Yep. So there was no wedding after that mention of a well, but I do want you to know that I've tested that theory, and that was the only time so far that I've seen a well mentioned where there isn't a marriage right afterwards. So I'm just saying, that is kind of weird that that's the first time. Anyway, okay, you guys